The latest on a judge who was arrested for disruptive conduct. High school seniors have to fill out the FAFSA or opt out if they want to graduate. And reimagining the story behind some historic sites. This is the KGOU PM News Brief for Friday, November 22nd. I'm Deborah Ashar. A Wewoka municipal judge was arrested at the Oklahoma County Courthouse on Thursday. KGOU's Hannah France reports the judge was acting as an attorney at the time and was held in direct contempt for aggressive and disruptive conduct.
Kelly Lynn was arrested for allegedly yelling and cursing at a public defender during a family court docket on Thursday. Additionally, Lynn was carrying a firearm when he was arrested in the courthouse. While he was acting as an attorney at the time, municipal judges are allowed to carry firearms anywhere in the state under Oklahoma statute. At a sentencing hearing held just hours later, District Court Judge Sheila Stinson sentenced Lynn to 5 days in the Oklahoma County Jail. Lynn is a former Norman City Council member who received backlash for allegedly grabbing and threatening a retired teacher and grandmother at a bar. He was not charged with any crimes but lost his bid for re-election in 2023. I'm Hannah France.
Oklahoma high school seniors can now start filling out their free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. And as State Impact's Beth Wallace reports, because of a new state law that applies to the class of 2025, they must complete the form or formally opt out to graduate.
The statute requires anyone graduating from an Oklahoma public high school to submit a FAFSA form, which went live on Thursday. But there are ways around it. If students choose not to submit a FAFSA form and are under 18, a parent or legal guardian must sign an opt-out form. If they are 18 or older, they can sign the opt-out themselves. A school counselor can also authorize an opt-out. Seniors have a shorter window than usual to get their FAFSA together. After last year's revised FAFSA form was plagued with problems, the feds test launched this year's form on the typical open date, October 1st, to ensure it was free of last year's major technical failures. So far, reviews on this year's form are positive. For State Impact, I'm Beth Wallace.
The Oklahoma Opioid Abatement Board is searching for a firm to track its grant outcomes. Sierra Pfeiffer reports on the latest updates from the board's meeting this week.
The Opioid Abatement Board is responsible for doling out settlement funds Oklahoma has received from lawsuits against drug manufacturers. The board announced it's looking for an outside partner to monitor how those funds are affecting the communities and groups they've been given to. Terry Simonson is the special counsel for Attorney General Gentner Drummond, who chairs the board. He says measuring outcomes, including lower rates of opioid overdose, are an important part of the process.
We need them now. If the money goes out, they need to be out there with the people spending the money to make sure what you spend it on, what's the data show.
Board Chair Kelly Dunn says setting up this agreement has been stalled because getting money to communities that need it has taken precedence. In Oklahoma City, I'm Sierra Pfeiffer.
The federal parks officials who run a Florida historical site are changing the narrative about it and bringing that narrative to Oklahoma. Sarah Lisi reports tribal nations in Oklahoma are vital to preserving that memory.
The Fort Marion Symposium remembers the history of the incarcerated people, many from Oklahoma, at what is now the Castillo de San Marcos National Monument in St. Augustine, Florida.
Prisoners at Fort Marion, they're going to be viewed as somebody that did something bad and heinous.
That's Max Baer. He's the Cheyenne and Arapaho Tribal Historic Preservation Officer.
And then you go back to the oral stories and, hey, this is what really happened.
Bear says those Cheyenne, Arapaho, Kiowa, Caddo, and Comanche men weren't criminals. They were protecting their homelands. So the history is being remembered here in Oklahoma to preserve tribal nation perspectives for the first time on the homelands of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes. In Concho, I'm Sarah Lisi.
You can find more Oklahoma news on our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU AM NewsBrief podcast. I'm Deborah Ashar.
No matter what happens in Washington, the NPR Politics Podcast is here for you. For the latest news, insights, and analysis from the election and beyond, listen to the NPR Politics Podcast.